I started reading a book today called How to Know God. It's a commentary on the Patanjali's yoga aphorisms by Swami Prabhavananda and Christopher Isherwood. And I was reading this interesting passage here that correlates something that I had presented earlier, I think the week before last or so, that Eckhart Tolle had said. This whole notion of stopping thought or in the sense of trying to be present in the moment and doing away with the past impressions that you've got in the mind that redefine the present moment and prevent you from seeing it as divine and from experiencing it as perfect. It's that identification again with mind as being ourself as opposed to this independent self, the true self that is not of the mind. He says here, the real self, the Atman, remains forever outside the power of thought waves. It is eternally pure, enlightened, and free, the only true unchanging happiness. It follows, therefore, that man can never know his real self as long as the thought waves and the ego sense are being identified. In order to become enlightened, we must bring the thought waves under control so that this false identification may cease. The Gita teaches us that yoga is the breaking of contact with pain. I always like it when I see these ideas popping up in other ancient sources and being presented to us. And so this notion that you are not the mind is very important. The mind is what holds your karma. It's what holds your limitations and your restrictions. It's what prevents you from experiencing your natural state of bliss in the present moment. And identifying with mind as being who you are is what empowers it to do that. So you lose your power to see the divine moment. You lose your power to find inner peace, to be tranquil in the moment, to be even-keeled in your approach to life. So be aware in the moment of the thinker. Be aware of that which is watching your thoughts. You can't objectify it and look at it, but you can feel its implication by the fact of watching, the action of watching thought or of watching the body. And so it's important to learn to control that mind, to discipline yourself. Let your yeses be yes, your no's no, be punctual, be pure, control yourself, be selfless, be loving and giving. These are all ways that we control our mind and teach it to get in line with our true self, that self which is love, that self which is intelligence, that self which is existence, absolute.